Welcome to the Kit Taylor Talk Show. I'm your host, Kittrick Taylor. We have a great show lined up for you today. But let me put a disclaimer out. I am no doctor, I'm no clinical therapist, nor am I a family planning person that takes care of family planning. So today's show, we're going to be discussing what I call reunification from the system. So we're going to bring on our first guest in the reunification part, Mr. Charles Daniel. Thank you for coming. How you doing, Charles? How you doing?
All good. And yourself, Mr. Kid?
Well, we're here, right? This is just one of those days, man. But listen, so Charles, I'm gonna start off this way. Um, we have a me and Charles have a special. When I say special bond, we have a bond where I worked in a facility, in the group home facility, and and I had a chance to. Charles was one of my residents. I was a supervisor, so he was one of the kids, the clients, and it was weird because even at the time that he was there, he was a special kid. I don't want to talk about all the things, the accolades that he has, but Charles was different from all the other 11, sometimes 12, sometimes 2, 3, but he was a little different. So we're talking maybe 20 years later, maybe, not 20, maybe 17, 16 years later. Here I am able to talk to him about his experience. And when I talk about reunification, I'm talking about, not being able to see his grandmother, father for years because he was in the system. So that's why I titled this Reunification from the System. Charles Daniel, how you doing again, brother? Thank you for, man. I tell you what, man, this is cool. You didn't even have to do this. So Charles allowed me just to talk about his life and, and how was it and what that, and I say struggle because it was a struggle, but he's looking good now and he's doing it. So Charles, let's talk. Just give me a little bit about who Charles Daniel is.
Uh, I'm Charles. I'm from Ontario, California. I was raised up in a system since I was 10 years old. Before I went into the system, my mother was raising me. And then me and her had an incident to where me and my brothers had to go to the system.
Okay.
And then
okay, good. Okay, we're gonna hit on it. We're gonna follow it chronologically, and okay. So you end up going to the system was really what we got out of that. So how many years? Let's go right here. How many years were you, Charles, in the system?
8 years.
8 years. 8 full years. So because I know with me, you were there 3 maybe 3 years.
About 3 years.
So 8 years. So at that time, in between that 8 years, that whole 8 years, were you able to see your grandma or father at the time during that 8 years?
I didn't see my dad.
Okay.
But I only seen my grandma one time when I had first barely went into the system.
Okay. Let's go back to the separation part when you had a situation and then you end up going into the system. So what was your feeling like? Like, how do you feel being separated? Like, because that's huge. You here one way with the family, and now you got to go with strangers and live a different type style of life. How did you feel about that? Talk to me about that feeling, being separated into that system like that.
At first, it was kind of confusing.
Okay.
Because I didn't really know. I really didn't know how to communicate with nobody. I didn't know how to act with nobody. So it was kind of hard to adjust to just living with somebody else that I really don't even know.
Your personality. It was hard for you to know how to just keep the same personality and didn't know if it would fit in with others. So because you've always been, based on what I've been with, you've always been a watcher. So that watching sounded like you were just saying, okay, how do I fit in? The do's and don'ts. So you were a thinker. Okay, so just not being able to adjust to others.
Yeah.
Okay. Charles, so let's talk a little bit about the system. And, we won't go too deep in it. But what's some of there were some good points and good things about the system. Am I correct?
Yeah. The good things that I think is good, it opens you up. To me, it opened me up in a good way. I know how to read the world now, because I think if I never would have went into the system, I wouldn't know how to read the world.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Read the world. What is that like? What does that look like? Take your time out, 'cause that's good. I like that.
Talking to people,
Good.
feeling people's emotions, just dealing with real life situations,
Man.
reading people's body language, just
Wow.
like controlling your emotions, just like you just think about everything that you do.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been thinking like this if I never would have went to the system.
Wow. So there are some perks of being in the system. If you're in there for the right reason and finally getting to the point where you understand, because I know it takes time for kids to, I'm in the system, they fighting and they're bucking against it, and why am I here? And they're doing so many things that they're getting consequences and stuff. But when you realize that this is where I'm going to be, I got to get right. I'm going to start doing right. What you did, that's a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about, and I know we talked already, a few of when I say bad things about the system, with the system, what do you think that can be done differently after you going through it, being experienced in it?
Some things that I think differently. The foster homes, they could be different. Like it's just crazy how they throw you in a foster home like within 8 hours, and like you don't even know who you're going to home with. And like
I know.
some of the people they don't even feed you, like they don't give you clothes, like
Wow.
they be whooping you.
Oh wow. Okay.
You feel me?
So yeah.
They
Okay.
ain't supposed to do
You
none of that
got deep
stuff.
there. Hey,
Yeah.
and here's the thing about it. This is your feeling. You're talking true, and people need to understand and hear this. This is a person. He's been through it. He saw good. He saw bad, but he decided, okay, I'm gonna take this good and I'll make the best out of my life. But yet and still, I'm gonna keep it in the back of my mind. The reason why I got out of there because there were some things that I didn't like, and I know the system can get better at. And Charles, trust me, there's some different things that they're doing. I know of. I don't know personally, but I know based on reading these legislations and things like that, there are a whole lot of different guidelines that are put in place to protect. Okay, so I love that feeling though. I mean, that's that you in there. Okay, let's talk a little bit. So the system really, I mean, like you said, the system really made you better
Yeah.
as a person. Because Charles, I haven't seen you and I've talked to you, and it just appeared like we just popped back up on Facebook, and I was doing these segments. And here we go. Here's Charles Daniel. Talk to me, Charles. Did you get along with staff most of the time?
At that group home, yeah.
Okay, at the
At
one
that
I
group,
was at.
yeah. At that group
Okay,
home, yeah.
okay, all right.
Uh,
Why different? What was it?
um, like I don't know. Like after a certain amount of time, like my mindset just started getting different because I just got sick of being in the system. Cause like I always try to go with my grandma, or always try to go with family, and like they would never let me go at all.
Who's they? Who's they?
The system.
The system. Okay, I just want to make it clear.
The
Go ahead.
system would never let me go. Like they would always deny my grandma. My grandma didn't have no charges for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. They didn't let my aunties, and my auntie was a foster parent. They didn't let me go with her. So like for a long time, it just like hurt me staying in the system because it just felt like I never was gonna get out.
And all this time, you still have not had contact with grandma, like pretty much. Wow, how does that make you feel? Like how does that make you feel every day, and still have to stay on task, stay on program, knowing that's what you wanted, but you wasn't getting it. But you didn't allow that to set you back, correct?
It set me back, but I think to me, I said it set me back for the good, cause like that's why I said it's some good stuff.
Okay,
Like we could talk about it later, but
that's okay.
yeah, I got set back for a little bit, but it was a good setback in the long run.
Right,
It was
you're
a
here
good
right
set.
now,
Yeah,
smiling, looking good, and
yeah,
you're talking about it
yeah.
freely, which is great. Wow. Okay. I got to keep on grandma here. Of the transition now. So now it's time to skip up a few years. Now it's time for you to be put into a foster home, correct? Was grandma ever in the picture as far as just maybe possibly allowing you to go with her after you did your time, after you showed that you can stay on task? Was grandma ever in the picture?
I think at the group home they said eventually I could go, but it never happened. So
Never happened.
they just put me to the foster home in Moreno Valley. I remember.
Wow.
And yeah, I was only there for probably like 3 or 4 months. That's after I left that group home. That's when stuff started just going bad.
When you left that group home until the first foster home.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
the second.
Second at that time. Okay. Wow. And still, we're talking. This is like 3-4 years, maybe not really having contact with grandma per se.
Yeah.
Her not allowing you to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough for you, and you're still holding on, right? Like you're still holding on. You're still doing right. Yeah, you were out doing certain things that set you back, but you kept going. And that's what I'm saying. So the years are going. So now we're talking. And so now let's go forward. During your stay at that, so you went back to another group. To another foster, right? So that was your last foster at that point.
Yeah.
So how long did you have to do good there to be able to get to what we're getting ready to talk about? How long were
They
you
didn't
there?
even tell me.
Oh, they didn't tell you.
They just put me in that foster home, and I was just supposed to stay there. But I had messed it up there.
Okay.
It was actually a pretty good home too.
Really?
That foster home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I keep talking. Your grandmother still had you have no rights to go see your grandmother either. You couldn't say, "Hey, I want to go see my grandmother."
I didn't know her number.
You didn't know
Or
nothing. You have no
didn't know
contact.
nothing. I had lost contact.
Wow. So let's skip up some years. That foster family. So you were there the longest, obviously.
I was there for like 3 months.
3 months. Okay. So after that 3 months, share a little bit about. Can you share what happened after that 3 months per se?
So after 3 months, I had left the foster home. I went AWOL.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
I had went into another type of foster home. I went into a group home.
Good.
Back in a group home.
Wow.
And this group home, it was actually okay. It wasn't like the one where I was at with you.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
Kept you okay. Good.
And I did okay there for a little bit, and then I started hanging around with the wrong crowd.
Okay.
And then that's when I started up, and I messed up there.
So let's get on track. So now you messed up there. So you went where after that? So because I'm trying to connect the dots. I'm trying to connect the dots, and I'm going to connect the dots on the reunification part. So you had to do something correct to get where you are now. So when did you get back on point, and how long did that take?
So I kept messing up for a long time, and then this one night I really messed up.
Yep.
And then I had locked up. And then when I got locked up, I guess when you get locked up, you're not in CPS no more.
Right.
You go to probation.
Yes.
So when I went to probation, they had me in juvenile hall for like 8 months the first time for my first charge.
Okay.
I was trying to go with my grandma that time.
During the time you was there. Okay.
Yeah, because I guess probation is way easier to get with your family.
It is. Yes.
And I didn't know that. So the first time they let me out on probation for like a year, or I had to do something a year in a probation group home.
Okay.
But I wasn't liking the rules there.
No.
So I AWOL and I violated, and I went back for like 3 months. Then when I went back, I got approved from my grandma.
So to finish up all that you did, the bad, but then you still had to go in and do some good, the bad, the good in the system, doing all that. So now you get probation, and then at this point, from probation, how did that even come about? You got all what you wanted after how many years now? That was at that point like
6, 7.
7 years. You got what you want to be with your grandmother. What did that feel like, and were you shocked?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
happy. I was happy, and then I just couldn't believe it. It took a long time, and then I just couldn't wait to get home, and then just finally just be free. Yeah,
Explain that freedom. That's free. So first of all, I'm sorry. Keep going. Just keep going. So it was good for you just to get out. Now you got that freedom. Now grandma has you. Let's talk about the time when they said the probation said, okay, yes, he can go back to grandma. So did your grandma come get you, or how did that all work? That transition with you and grandma after 6 long years.
I think.
Tell us how you felt, y'all.
I felt good. I was happy.
Yeah.
I went back to the little juvenile hall.
Mm-hmm.
I was just
To the
telling
little juvenile hall. Okay.
And they gave me her phone number, and then I called her, and then we was just happy. And then I told her, "Yeah, come pick me up at 12 on the dot." That's
Not
what I could get out.
Right?
Yeah,
Give me 12, right? Okay.
I was like, that's what I could get out, 12 on the dot. And then
Okay.
yeah, she came and got me.
Okay. And let me, I'm always putting disclaimers out. Charles' journey was up, down, good, 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 down. But he kept on that up track. I don't want you to take this show and say I can mess up and I can get back what I want, because that was just his journey. And that was what happened with Charles. Go in the system, do the right thing, get your reunification that way. Charles got it a different way. Charles got it how he wanted. Now how what he wants. So now you're big grandma. So she was on time. She picked you up, and where'd y'all go?
Um,
Love it.
we just went to the house. She made me. We call it some slop.
Oh,
You know
slop.
yeah,
Okay,
you know
yeah. I think I know what slop. I think I know what the slop. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some. It's some good food right there.
Mhm.
And then you have some of that, and then yeah, and then and then like I just really wanted to start a family. Then
Oh, okay.
yeah, like yeah, I had came home, and then like 30 days. Well, I had met a girl right when I came home, and then
Okay.
I had known her for like a year.
We won't get too deep in your whole life now, Joe. But
Oh
go
no,
ahead.
no.
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. I love it. Go ahead.
No, I had
Okay.
met her for like a year, and yeah, I ended up having a baby with her,
Oh, okay.
and then that's what really changed me too.
You ain't no more little Charles. You Charles. Okay. Congratulations, man. Okay. That was like, you got your grandma, you're back now. Now you got a family. Now you know, you got a kid. So, and I believe you said something about your father. You hadn't seen your father for how long? This is a double,
I haven't seen
not
him.
whammy, but a double.
I seen
great.
him around the same time I seen my grandma.
Wow. And so of course he never was around. So there was an instance that you were at from when I remember, you was at your grandma's at the house. And what happened with your father? How did that end up coming to where you saw him?
Well,
As far as like they came on that Sunday or something, you did, and she knew he was coming, but
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so me and my dad, we haven't talked in a long time.
Okay.
And at that time, I was doing some other type of stuff.
Okay.
And I guess he kind of knew from the streets or whatever.
Okay.
And he came to the house, and then like
He just
he
popped
just
up.
got
And you haven't seen him in years.
No, I haven't
He
seen
just came to your house where you were at.
Yeah.
That was like a reunification again. That's the second thing.
Yeah.
So what was that feeling after he talked to you a little bit about whatever, and then
Yeah,
how
we
that
had a
end?
father-son talk, but
Awesome.
it was just all like love. It was just like he
After
missed me.
8 years, father and
Yeah.
son talk.
Yeah.
Wow. Charles, you know what your story, I know your story is going to touch others that have come through the system. You're a bold dude to come on this show and talk about your journey, because a lot of people would look at this as, I ain't telling nobody about my business. But what you just did, I guarantee you, in front of a lot, help someone's son that is in the system, and help others, which I'm going to say, that are trying to get back with their kids, that are trying to get back with go back home to their mother and grandmother. It's always hope. Don't give up. And with Charles's story, his story should ignite something under you. If you have a situation like this, that is never too late. It's just that this kid, because I knew him, and he was willing to tell his story, and he's at peace. He's talking to me. I got to remember that this is a grown man now. I got to remember he's a grown man, and he's grown. He's doing a great thing, Charles. You keep it up, dude. Like, don't, when I say, and I'm gonna talk on a person, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't need nobody saying all these things. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's on the right path. And you're going to be sitting in this seat because you have a story to tell, not me, but you're going to be talking to someone about their story to people that are inside. Okay? So you want to tell the people anything? You want to talk about anything? I mean, we're here. Close remarks from you?
Just never give up in that system. Like I thought a lot of different emotions in that system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some days I wanted to kill myself and a
Mm.
lot of different stuff. But in the long run, whatever you want to do in life, as long as you got your mind to it, you'll get it done. You'll get it done. It's just gonna take time.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you again, Charles, for coming on to my show. We want to thank you, audience, for tuning in to the Kid Taylor Talk Show. If you have a story as such, if you have a story that can help someone's life with someone that's in the system, and that system doesn't mean a kid, the residential system, it can mean incarcerated that want to get out, that are going to be getting out, that haven't seen their dad or mother or uncle in a long time, but you're going to get that reunion. It's coming. You want that reunification to come back. You want to reunite. Please contact me if you want to come on the show to share. This show is to help others, not to flaunt, but to help others in their walk of life. So if you have a story like Charles having two persons that he actually reunified with, his grandma and his dad, please contact me at Kittrick L. Taylor at Facebook and Kittrick Taylor at yahoo.com for my email. So until then, we want to thank you for tuning in. And that is it for the Kit Taylor Talk Show. See you next time.